Hello and welcome to Greetingstar. I'm so happy that you could join me today. I'm going to be making a card today with supplies that I purchased myself from Amazon and other sources. So these are some die cutting plates. They don't actually cut out the paper. They just sort of imprint a design on the paper, and you can use that as a background. And you can see all of these lovely designs. And each of these was about $10. That was a Mother's Day gift that I received. So I'm just showing you some of the designs that they create with these papers. You've got leaves and flowers and geometric designs. So I chose to go with the leaf pattern design here, and that's going to be the main panel. It's the background for my card today. And the supplies that I'm using, this cute little butterfly and this pattern paper that you see here that I don't actually use on the card. I just like the blue from it, so I decided to cut out a banner from some blue cardstock instead of using that butterfly pattern paper. And I'm also going to be using the stamp set. This is Studio Light clear stamps, and these are called Basic Wishes. And I'm going to stamp my greeting on that banner once I get it cut out. And then this butterfly came from the SCT sampler for May of 2022. And also that beautiful butterfly pattern paper that you saw a moment ago, that also came from the SCT sampler. The SCT stands for Scrapbook and Cards Today magazine, and they have a subscription, a monthly subscription that you can purchase and receive a little kit in your mailbox every month. And it's just a sample of 2 brands of paper crafting supplies. Now this is Hero Arts Unicorn ink. It's a white ink, it's a pigment ink, and since the stamps are brand new, I'm just going to stamp off once first before I actually stamp on my blue banner there, because I want to make sure that they stamped well. And it's hard to see on film, but I could see it very well. And I'm just using my Expo eraser to apply some even pressure. So I'm just pressing lightly, but going over it a few times. Now you could certainly be done and leave the greeting just like that, but I'm going to heat emboss it with some white opaque embossing powder. And then since I have a sticky mat here in my stamping platform, I wanted to be careful not to bend or leave a crease in my little blue banner there. So I just pulled straight up and a little bit to the left. And now I forgot to use my anti-static powder tool to get rid of static, and so I can see, I don't know if you can see it on film, but there are little pieces of that embossing powder stuck throughout this banner, so I want to go ahead and use my paintbrush to remove those. And since I've done that, I'm ready to heat emboss. I'm just using those tweezers there. Those are reverse tweezers, so they stay closed unless you squeeze them. And I'm just using my heat tool to go ahead and heat emboss that beautiful white opaque embossing powder. And then I'm going to use some double-sided adhesive tape to adhere the back panel to my card base. And this is Neenah Solar White 80-pound cardstock. And then the card base that you see there to the left is the Neenah Solar White in 110-pound. So that way, the card base is a little bit thicker and heavier because it's going to have a front panel and a couple of other items on the front of it. So I like using the heavyweight card bases. They're just more sturdy, and if your viewer wants to display them using that heavier weight, the card stands up and will be easier to display. If you use cardstock that's like 65-pound weight, they tend to fall over. Even if they stand up, if there's any breeze or air from a fan, they'll just fall over. So I prefer to use the heavier card bases. But it is entirely up to you and what supplies you have at home. It's not a hard and fast rule. It's just up to your preference. Okay, so again, I'm using some of that double-sided adhesive to put this banner on the front of my card. And then I'm going to attach this butterfly using some liquid adhesive. This is my Tombow Mono liquid adhesive. I'm just going to hold that there for a second. And then you'll be able to see the result. Now you could be finished with this card, but I want you to pause the video and write down in the comments what you would do to finish off this card. It's pretty just like this, but there's something else you could do to it. Okay, so now we're back, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some flowers to that blue background. Now, I didn't record the process of that because I forgot to push the record button, but all I did was I took some Versamark ink and put those flowers on some acrylic blocks, and then I'm going to kind of show you what I did here, even though I'm not actually going to do it again. I just put some pieces of scrap paper underneath that blue banner so that the ink doesn't go off onto that white background. Probably wouldn't have really been visible anyway, but you know, if you leave that stray ink on the background, it might catch some dust or anything, and I did not want that to happen. So I'm just showing you how I'm going off of the edge for some of these flowers and then stamping all over that blue banner to make it look a little more interesting. Now, there's one more thing I wanted to do. I wanted to add some of these little flowers, and the reason I'm doing that is not just to embellish the card, but also because I'm going to use these 3 little flowers to help my viewer's eye to be directed from the butterfly to the greeting to the corner of the card to open it, so that way their eye kind of naturally flows throughout the card and then is ready to go to the inside of the card for my inside message. Now I'm going to use some of these pops of color. This is the Sunshine color from scrapbook.com, and it has a glossy finish, and I'm just going to put those in the center of the flower, and then my card will be complete. And I really had fun making this card, and I love it. I think it's adorable. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. We'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.